Day 40, 40, 40. We're on 40. Praise the Lord. We getting there, y'all. We have been 50 days. What? We should have been done by now, but listen, it is okay. We're doing the things. 50 days down. We're on day 40, which again, we're going down in a descending order. We started at day 90. We're now working our way down to day 1. All right. Day 40. We're going to talk about we, us. It's a concept that I teach in my ladies groups. We, us sounds pretty much like it sounds. It's a togetherness. It's a partnership. It is collaboration. It's all those types of things. It is what I call the concept of togetherness, right? So you have a lot of people. I don't want to say a lot of people because that sounds very general. And I don't know everybody, but there are some people in some camps that are very, very adamant they don't need a man or they don't need a woman. They find by themselves. Yet we were put on this earth according to God's plan to couple, right? Adam was naming all the animals and he was doing a good job. And the next thing you know, God looked at him and was like, you know what, he got me, but it's really not good for him to be by himself. So let me make a helper. Since everybody else out here got somebody, he don't have anybody. So the whole concept biblically was that we would couple together. And that coupling would then, as he told them, to be fruitful and multiply, meaning they were going to go and they were going to have children and they were going to populate this earth that he given them. And so we have some people who do that, but in these 2025 streets, 2020, 2020 and on streets, and I guess even before that, we have a specific group of people, both men and women, who will tell you, I don't need a man. Now, let me qualify what I'm about to say. I'm from a really, really, really small town. It's small town USA. And now when I say small, think of the smallest town around y'all. And if they have a stoplight, we smaller. We don't have a stoplight. We still got a flasher. And that's all we have had for the last 50 years. Where I'm from, if you had a man, you needed that man to pay your bills. You needed that man to help you with them kids. He was necessary for the upkeep of the home, not because the woman couldn't. Well, yeah, because she couldn't. She didn't have anything to input. It was necessary to have that man. It was imperative, or there would be no standard of living worth talking about. And so I saw that growing up, and I saw what went with that, right? If he's going to pay the bills, then what do you have to pay him in order to keep him paying those bills? So it was like this give and take, this I'm going to do this, you do this, but it always seemed to cost the woman so much more. I saw women get treated very poorly, if you catch my meaning, get treated very poorly. And it was still around this, I'm the man, I pay the bills, I can do whatever I want to do. And because that woman needed that man in that household to help take care of those bills, and I would even dare to say get her physical needs met if she had any, if he didn't beat it out of her, that was necessary. That's just how it was. I grew up in the 70s. Listen, that's what it was. Okay. That's what I knew. So I always knew in my brain that I never wanted to need a man to pay my bills. I'm qualifying here. Y'all stick with me. Okay. I can pay all of the bills that I make here at my house. Right. So it's not necessary for somebody else to come here just so that we can meet the minimum of the bills. If somebody comes here, we already gonna be above where I am because I'm meeting the minimum standard. Does that make sense? I am meeting the minimum standard for my lifestyle, for what I have going on in my household. So I don't need a man to feel the pressure of having to take care of my stuff because I am not a good stuff taking care of. Does that make sense? Like, I don't need a man to feel the pressure that I saw growing up behind a woman needing a man. Would I like a man? Sure. Absolutely. 100%. Yes. Could I see myself with a man? 100%. Yes. Could I see myself with a man because I needed him to pay my bills? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I say that because any man that finds me, this is the truth, right? If he finds me at this moment, I am capable of taking care of everything that surrounds me because I've been doing it for the longest time. Now, I'm not saying I don't want him. That's not what I'm saying. But I don't need him to feel that intense pressure that comes on a man when he has to step into a ready-made situation that's not producing what it needs to produce. Because even though he may not do it grudgingly, eventually it becomes a grudge. Eventually it's like, well, darn, she got all these kids. Why am I over here? Where they daddy at? Why he ain't paying? It becomes a pressure. And I never wanted that. When you are like me, a Black woman, and I know people ask me all the time, why you got to say Black woman? Why can't it just be a woman? Because that is not what society calls me. Society calls me a strong, independent Black woman. That's society's words. It's not my, I wish I could just be a woman, but that's not how it is. So when you are a strong, independent Black woman, most people see that as negative, and they also see it as combative. Most men would see me as combative because they don't understand my grind. Does that make sense? Like, I gotta work or my kids don't eat. I gotta work or the bills don't get paid. I gotta work or we're not going to be able to maintain this lifestyle that we have. Not rich by any means as far as finances is concerned. We rich in love, we rich in mercy, we rich in all the things other than the finances, but the Lord is he's working on it, right? We going to get there eventually. So when I started to teach this concept of we, us, it was based on the principle that we don't need a man to feel that pressure, but I want a man to feel, I want him to experience what it feels like to come into a space where he doesn't have that pressure. Being with me is not hard. Being with me is not tough. Being with me is not pressure. Can I say this? I was talking to somebody last night, and I don't think we actually even hit on this part. But when you've been single as long as I've been single, most people say, well, why? And again, I don't even know why. I kept asking the Lord what was the point. But I think I really just needed to focus on raising my kids. You couldn't have convinced me then when they were little. I needed somebody to help me with these kids. Now, I can honestly say that I see that and I can understand it. And now when the Lord sends me somebody, because my children are all grown and don't live at home, except my youngest two, my daughter's grown. She just lives at home for financial reasons. And my youngest son is getting ready to go to college. So when the Lord sends me my person, there ain't going to be anybody here but me. And so what a beautiful, and I'm not saying that he couldn't have come into the family and it would have all worked out. But what I am saying is because I sacrificed and I gave myself to my family, when he comes now, it's just him and I. All we got to do is start getting to know each other, start leaning into one another. That we can build on something without the added pressure of the kids. Because first he comes and he takes care of the bills. Now he got to take care of the kids. Now he got to deal with the baby daddy. Now he got to do all of this stuff. And he's working all these hours. And I was also telling this same exact friend, I said, you got all these people out here with these car payments and all this stuff that you just have all this stuff. And you want the man, but the man can't be home because he got to work his full-time job plus a part-time job just to pay for all the stuff you have. Like, why do I need a brand new car? The car that I have is a 2013 Toyota Camry. Can I tell y'all that the Lord blessed me with that car right as the pandemic was getting ready to hit? I was able to pay for that car in full in 63 days. And it's still taking me where I need to go. Took it for an inspection the other week. And the guy was like, this is a well-maintained car. I get my maintenance. Would I love to roll over to Toyota place and get me a 2025 Toyota Sequoia? Yes. But do you know what the price of that payment is? So as soon as I get that Toyota Sequoia and that payment hits, now my husband, because I'm asking the Lord for a husband, not a man. My husband now has to work his job plus a part-time job, because I'm probably going to be in my soft life era and I'm not going to work. And so now he has to work all those jobs to pay all those bills. And then I'm gonna be mad because he's never home. Well, he's never home because he has to work 2 jobs just to pay for the lifestyle that y'all have, that you have. And so I never wanted that, because I saw what happened. There was a lot of domestic violence happening around in that situation. There was a lot of abuse in the intimacy area. Oh, you gonna give me what's due me because I'm paying all these bills. I saw some of that going on. There was just a lot. There was a lot of drinking and carrying on. There was a lot of infidelity, because over here it's pressure, but over there I can just do whatever. There was a lot just happening, and I'm like, Lord, I didn't want that. So again, that phrase, strong, independent Black woman, has always, in my opinion, it may not be anybody else's, but in my opinion, has always been used very negatively. And it just conjures up such divisiveness in communities between men and women, because the men would think that we don't need them. And that's not the truth. I don't need you to feel the pressure of being with me. Does that make sense? I need you, but I don't need you to feel any pressure to be with me. That doesn't mean I'm not pressure. That doesn't mean I'm not going to pull out of you or expect you to be your very best when you're with me. What I'm saying is, just to be with me, I don't need you to feel like you coming over here and there's a weight of a ton of bricks on your shoulders to try to make it all happen, because we're making it happen right here. We're doing our due diligence to keep everything doing what it's doing without you. So the level at which I'm able to take care of my family, we straight. If a man comes, we should be more than straight. Now unto him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we could ask, think, hope, or dare to dream. So I am doing this. The man comes in, he brings his extra added income, his extra added spirituality, his extra added care and concern, all the things that he brings on top of what I'm already maintaining is now the exceedingly abundantly above. Or vice versa. If I go to him, he's got it. He's good. Anything else I bring is now exceedingly abundantly above. You can't explain to me how 2 adults who are making it in 2 households are now struggling in 1 household. I'm not exactly sure how that math is mathing. Probably because we're living beyond our means. And now, because we're living beyond our means, what we don't do is we're no longer together. Now you and I'm me. And why are we even doing this? So here's the thing, right? My personality, I don't tend to want to be around anything that's negative. And most people use those words in a negative connotation to describe me or women like me. Here's what I really wish people would understand. And I think I heard the person, I think it's Trill AC. I think I heard him say it. He said, most women don't want to be strong and independent. We do want a man to come in and take care. We do. But because we live under such conditions, we don't always have that luxury. As soon as I tell a man I got 4 kids, he's already ran for the hills. He got 6. And right? I'm just supposed to accept all your stuff, but you don't want none of my stuff. As soon as you say, I got, this much in student loan debt or whatever I'm trying to pay off, or I got debt or whatever the case, he think you just a booty call and that's it. And he got to go about his business. So it's not necessarily that we even have the luxury of inviting another person into our space. We want to, but we don't have that luxury. And so what do, right? They've negatively attached a label to us that we didn't ask for. Those of us who have been walked out on, we didn't ask to be walked out on. People just got up and left. We was like, oh, we didn't know. We didn't know you was unhappy. Did you check with us to see if we was happy? But we still here. So nobody, you know what I'm saying? Nobody shared that with us. And so people want to attach that to you. And I just don't want to be anything around that. If you see me as strong, independent, that's your business. I believe in interdependence. I just don't have anybody to be interdependent with at the moment. I don't believe in myself as being by myself for the rest of my life without anyone. That's not the prayer that I'm praying. That's not the word that God gave me. That's not what I'm standing on. I'm standing on a firm foundation of a word that the Lord said, gave me himself. Shakima, you'll be in your ministry. Your husband will be in his ministry. When the two ministries meet, it'll be M squared multiplied ministry. That word came from the Lord. That didn't come from me. I'm not that smart. And so because I understand that that is my word from the Lord, I do something called the we us principle. Whenever I'm talking about myself, my children, my situation, anything that has to do with me, I never individualize myself. I always respond with we or us. Somebody asked me, how did you decide to homeschool your kids? I always respond with, we thought it was best to do this. Well, there's nobody else here making the decision except you. I know that is very true. However, when I train my brain to just say, I decided, it becomes very difficult to merge with another person because I decided. When I make it, we decided, when that other person comes in, I'm already considering them even before they show up. And so it doesn't make that coupling hard. It kind of bridges the gap, eases us in, and makes it a little bit better. My children have always said, or have always heard me say we and us, because when God does bring a person into my life and they're asking me, how did you come to that conclusion? I can say, we decided that. So they've already heard that. They've already heard this person that we don't know. He's nameless, faceless, but he's still included in all of the things and the decisions, so that when he does show up, my children aren't trying to now include him. He's been included from the very beginning. Going back to that strong, independent thing, right? I hated that people have misplaced and put that assumption on me that I'm a strong, independent woman, that I don't need anybody. That's not the truth. I am strong. There's very few days that I emotionally break down, but I have emotionally broken down at times. But I don't have the luxury for that. I don't have the luxury to just sit here and lose my mind because things aren't going the way I think they should go. What I got to do is I got to put on my big girl pants, and I got to go out here and make it happen for myself and for my family. That was the position that I was put in by my ex-husband. And he had to do what was best for him. But what was best for him did not consider the rest of us. So I have had to consider the rest of us. So where people see, oh, she don't need anybody. Now, player, I'm just trying to survive out here. I'm trying not to let this stuff get over my head. And here's the other thing. When God made Adam and then he made Eve, he gave Eve to Adam as a helper. If you would let me help you, we wouldn't be in the place that you felt like you have to lead this family. But you don't want help. So is it that I'm the strong, independent one that don't need nobody, or you the one that don't need nobody? Now, everybody needs to be clear on who don't need somebody, because I need somebody. I just don't need him to feel the pressure of being with me, because it's not that. Talking to my friend last night, they were talking about listening to some kind of podcast or something where the man was talking about the woman, she need her hair done and her nails done, and the man got to pay for it and all this other stuff. And I'm thinking, Lord bless it, Jesus. And I looked at them and I said, listen, oh, thank you so much. God bless you. I appreciate that. I said, my nails are already done, right? My nails are already done. If I need to go get my hair colored, I just make an appointment. Like the level at which you find me, this is what we need to understand, ladies and gents. Honestly, the level at which somebody finds you should be the level at which you are okay and capable of taking care of yourself. If I can't afford to get my nails done, I won't get my nails done. I'm not waiting for a man to come over here and he send me a cash app so I can get my nails done. I get my nails done once a month, sometimes twice, just depending on how many times I can fit it in. But I put that in my self-care line item on my budget, and I get my nails done because I like them done. But if it comes to a point where I have to decide between nails and food, I'm always going to eat. If I have to decide between hair and food, I'm always going to eat. But fortunately for me, in my job, I'm able to get my hair done every 10th week, and I'm able to get my nails done every 4th week. That's how I budget my money. See, again, when you think about that coupling, that us, we together, if you would allow the strong person to deal with the finances, we might not be in the financial straits and difficulties that we are. I know you want to spend, babe, but that's not what we can do this week. That's not in the budget. It's just not in the budget. And because it's not in the budget, what I'm going to need you to do is I'm going to need you to adjust. Either I'm going to need you to get the products that you need to be able to maintain your hair, or I'm going to need you to get a haircut. I'm going to need you to do something until we are able to financially afford all of this. And see, that would again be considered strong and independent, like she don't need nobody. But baby, we can't be out here living like the Joneses because they living on credit cards and they all maxed out. And that interest rate is too high. I'm not trying to pay later. I need to pay now or don't get it at all. I'm going to move on. I have no luxury to break down in any form, especially in my emotions. I just don't have that luxury. Or here's the other thing. It's not even that I don't have that luxury. I'm not going to show you my weakness. Because when people see your weakness, they try to take advantage. They think you a punk. Ain't no punks over here. Don't do that because you're going to get your feelings hurt. I told my friend yesterday, I said, I have a 1st degree black belt, a 2nd degree black belt, and I'm a green stripe. I'm the most dangerous one in the bunch. You just don't want to mess with me because I don't half know what I'm doing. They at least know what they're doing, but I don't half know what I'm doing. I'm dangerous. So don't come over here with all of that. If I break down, if I have an emotional moment, I'm going to do that in the privacy of my own home, me and the Lord. And even in those moments, I'm not by myself. It's still me and Jesus. It's always us. We're together. When you find yourself locked in with somebody, you're never by yourself. It's always us. I got to move. Okay. I have had to work hard to secure my own bag. And not me doing it alone. I always ask the Lord, God, can you show me? Can you help me? Will you give me a strategy? Because I really need to increase this. I really need to do that. Is there a way that you're going to be able to say to me, Shakima, this is what I need you to do? I was having some financial struggles and I was thinking about going out and getting a job. I was like, if I just get a part-time job, I'm gonna be okay. I can work a part-time job for 12 months and I know I'm gonna have some serious savings. And the Lord said to me, you can go get a part-time job if you like, but you already have social platforms as a part-time job. All you need to do is work them a few more hours. You work those part-time job platforms a few more hours, and I promise you, you'll see the revenue on the end. And I'm like, Lord, you mean to tell me I don't even have to go out of my house and I can still make money? He said, if you want to do it my way, now you can go get a job. He's not going to stop me from getting a job. But he already gave me a job, not the preaching. This is other types of forms of social content. He said, you just need to work those platforms extra hours during the week, just like you would have gone out and get a job. And then you're going to be able to increase that revenue. You're going to see the increase. And I'm like, wow, Lord. So if I were with someone and we were struggling because I have creative content and because I have creative ideas, I'll be able to say, babe, you know what? I know we need some extra money. I know you out there working, but I'm going to work this side and I'm going to see what happens. There are a lot of people on social platforms that have been able to retire their husbands, bring their husbands home. A lot of husbands been able to bring their wives home. So if they can do it, why not you do it? I'm going to move on. But people would look at me and they go, oh, she don't need nobody. Yes, I do. Because here's the thing. The struggle be real for us too. We just can't afford to break down. Because the truth is, those of us who don't have anybody, who we going to break down to? It's still just us. If we break down, it's still just us in this house. Whose shoulders? Whose strong arms open to me? Again, you got to think about those types of things when you start talking crazy about people. I got me and mine over here, but so does the Lord. A lot of people would say, Shakima, why don't you change your name? Because on another platform, my name is one mom, two girls, two boys, 8 in all. Nobody can ever remember or figure out what the 8 means. They're like, that's just 5. Sure it is. But when you include the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, that makes 8 of us. The Lord helps me raise my kids. The Lord has helped me feed my kids. The Lord has helped me make money for my kids. The Lord has helped us get out of debt. The Lord has helped us pay off cars. The Lord has helped us use cash. The Lord has helped us buy a house. The Lord has helped us do all those things. And because it's not comfortable for you, you want me to change my name. Well, people can find you easier if your name was just Shakima. Well, it's not. So maybe they're just going to have to expend a little energy to find me. So I'm not out here really by myself. God is helping me. And the Bible tells me that no good thing will he withhold from me. But it makes people think that I'm independent because I don't have anybody over here to share what I'm doing. Do you not know that there are nights I cry myself to sleep asking the Lord, God, when is it going to be my turn? God, when is it going to be my turn? I was at work today. This is true. I was at work today and I was happened to be listening to a worship song while I was working. I have to have white noise. So I was listening to a worship song while I was doing some stuff on my computer. And I just immediately began to weep. And the song was a Phil Wickman song. And it's called The Battleground or Battle something. I can't remember what it is, but it's Phil Wickman, Battle something. And he said, I'm fighting on my knees. And I just begin to weep like, God, when is it really going to be my turn? Because I've been out here doing this a long time. And everybody has a name that they're calling me because it's comfortable for them. Instead of recognizing the fact that when they had a chance to slide over here and help make this burden easier, they didn't want it. They like, no, it ain't me. It ain't me. It ain't for me. It ain't for me. Now, if you open for business after 11, because ain't nothing open but legs and liquor stores, you know, when you open for business, they here for you only as long as you open. But when you ain't, they got names for you. No good thing will he withhold from this Black woman. No explanation other than to say, this is just how I was born. I'm a Black woman. I can't change it. I was born Black and I'm gonna die Black, period. That's it. I can't make, why does it always have to be about being Black and white? It ain't, but this is who I am. And you don't have to like it. This is where we are. And I'm tired of apologizing for it. I can't help the fact that I was born Black. Blame my parents. My mom is Black. My dad is half Puerto Rican. This is what you get. This is what shows up. And I'm not going to apologize anymore. But I'm not so strong and independent that I don't need anyone. I'm far from it. Okay, when my ex left, he just immediately threw us into an unknown world. I did not know what it was like to be single. I had been with that man since I was 16 years old. He left when I was 33. You mean to tell me for 17 years, you just gave up on us? And now you've thrown me into a world that I don't know anything about. I didn't know how to pay some bills. I didn't know how to get my car insurance. I knew nothing. He didn't even prep me ahead of time. He just threw me out there. And I'm a single woman taking care of 3 kids. Like, you got to be kidding me. But I also knew the moment I referred to myself as me, even though I was a single mom, even though I was newly separated, even though I would eventually get divorced, I knew in my heart of hearts that if I ever took on the identity of me, I would never have room for we. I knew it. I knew as soon as I started depending just on myself, I would never know how to be soft enough to lean and depend on my spouse, on my new husband that God is going to send me. I knew that if I became just Shakima, that man would have no place or space in my life. He would feel so crowded out by the bigness of my personality and who I am. And so I couldn't run the risk then, nor can I run the risk now, that I would be crazy enough to go out here and be individual. Now, be single-minded. Me, my, mine, what I say, I'm in charge, I'm the boss, it's my decision. No, it's always we. It's always us, because I want to leave room for that person who chooses. He's going to have to choose me. He will have to choose me, because I got a lot going on over here with kids. Not because my kids are trouble or problems. They're not. I just have them. I have 4 of them. and a son-in-law, 4 dogs and a cat. That's what we got between all of our family. And he's going to have to choose all of that. He's going to have to choose the broken pieces in me. He's going to have to choose the broken pieces in my kids. He's going to have to choose to be the bigger person and help to put us back together if that's what we need. And so I never wanted to have him start like he don't even belong. There is no space for him. Yes, there is. We have left a space at the table just for you. I was telling somebody the other night, I said, my son will be 30 years old on his birthday next year. My other son will be 17. Both of my sons have never sat at the head of my dinner table. It's not their place. I'll never let them absorb or usurp the authority of the man that I'm praying and asking God for. Ever. Never. I refuse it. But I'm branded strong, independent Black woman, don't need a man. Not a true story. Okay, I'm gonna move on. My desire is interdependence with and on a life partner. That means where I stop, he starts. Where he stops, I start. The Bible says that, and the two shall become one. There isn't a place between them. They're so close. They're so tight. They're so locked in that you can't tell where one starts and the other one stops. They're just together with each other all the time. And that doesn't just mean in intimate spaces. That means when he moves, I move, just like that. We locked in. We got that permanent snuggle space. We spooning all the time. Wherever you at, I'm at. Where you go, I go. Now, don't get that confused. Singularity doesn't mean giving up your individuality. I am an individual on my own, and my husband will be an individual on his own. And we will have different things that we like, different things that we do, different things that we're responsible for. But at the end of the day, it's still we, it's still us. And I can't start we and us when he comes. I have to start we and us before he gets here, or my mind will be so locked into me doing it. That's why people struggle in relationships, especially those of us who have been single a long time, because I've always done it. It's me. I get to make the decision. No, we're making the decision. It's our decision. It's us. We're doing it together. So to that end, us has always been in my vocabulary from the very first moment I knew I was going to be a single person. It's always been we. It's always been us. Responding we and us reminds my brain that I desire to share my life, and sharing my life means I'm no longer independent, but I'm interdependent. I wish they would call me an interdependent strong Black woman, because that don't even sound as bad as independent strong Black woman. That sounds horrible. It sounds like we don't ever want anybody to come in and make this burden lighter, and we do. But I'm talking about, why don't you give me something else other than this term that is terrible? It's not what I want to be. Okay, what else did I say? The truth. Here's the truth. No man. So when you go back and you're thinking very singular, you're thinking singularity, you're thinking me, my, mine, I, and you never include we and us. Here's the truth. No man. I don't care who he is. I'm not a man. So if you're a man, chime in. I'm not a man, but I think this. No man will ever want to be in a relationship where there's no room for him. Lots of people use their children to crowd the man out. My children do not come before my husband. They don't. I know that's a hard pill to swallow to some people, and I love you, and I mean that, but I covenanted with my husband, not my children. It's not a thing. That doesn't mean I'm going to treat my children poorly when I get a husband. It just means that my loyalties now reside with my husband. And as long as I have seen it as we and us, and he's been included in things, I don't see that he's going to make me choose him or my children. But a lot of people are locked in that battle with the husband and the kids, because somebody didn't pick right, somebody didn't prepare right, somebody didn't do anything that they were supposed to do on the front end, and now there is high level of competition between those individuals. If I've got it and he believes I find no value in him or his input, he won't even approach me. If there's a man that's interested in you, but he never feels like there's room for him, he won't approach you. He gonna be like, nah, she got it all together. She don't need nobody. Nope, she got it. And the truth is, we might. But when you desire interdependence and you desire to couple, you can't have it like that. You have to make room for this other individual. There has to be a space. Here's what I know to be true. In this house that I live in my house that I live in right now, we could put another person in here, but we can only put the person. We can't put his clothes. We can't put anything from his house. We can't put anything, nothing. There's no more room at the end. This house is full to the brim with our stuff. I don't even have enough closet space for another person. So I already know that when the Lord sends me my person, I'm going to have to sell this house. Well, you already got a house. Why are you going to sell it? Because I want to make space for him. I want us to find something together. I don't want to go to his house either, because it probably doesn't have enough room for me. Knowing him, he lives in an apartment somewhere, or he got a smaller house. It was just him. He bachelor padding it up. I want to be able to have something that we decide together, not what I decide, not what he decides, but we both now consider one another. And we say, hey, this is what's going to make the best sense for us. See how decisions go from me to us. When you're thinking about coupling, I already know that I won't get to make all the decisions. What do we want? Do you have kids? I got kids. Do we have enough space for people to come and visit? Do we have a guest room? Do we have a couple of guest rooms? Do we even want a guest room? Maybe they want to go stay at a hotel somewhere. I've even considered, for me, if it's just me, downsizing so I don't have the yard anymore. I just go live in a community where my yard can get cut by whoever cuts the community, because I have no need for all of this. But would that be beneficial for the man that I want to join my life? Maybe he wants the yard. Maybe he enjoys yard work. I don't know. So I consider both of us in decision making, because if I don't, I'm not making room for him. Shakima, you don't even have a man. Very true. But I'm already doing the work up front. So when the Lord sends me one, guess what? There shouldn't be any growing pains. There shouldn't be any growing pains, him trying to fit in. Now, does that mean that everything's going to run smooth? Probably not, because if you haven't lived together before you got married, okay, that's going to be a different thing. He does something different with his clothes than you do with your clothes. So you got to, those are those little intricate details you have to work out. But I'm practicing the concept of we and us before he shows up. I'm practicing we and us before he shows up, because when he shows up, we now go from me and him to us. I hope I'm explaining this right. Proverbs 23:7 says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Whatever I think about me is usually what I am. And I said, I know this sounds crazy, maybe even selfish, but I promise it's not. We are usually what we think. When our minds, words, and decisions think singularity, it will be a far reach to include anybody else in our minds, our words, and our decisions. So if I were to set myself up in a situation where all I did was think about myself, never consider somebody else. And people think you're crazy when you consider a partner that's not even in your present, but you know will be in your future. People like, she just dreaming. All she do is talk about a man. She ain't even got no man. That's all she talks about. Because I'm hoping that I'm praying him in. That's why. And so people think you're crazy, but as long as you think single, you will never be able to adapt or adjust to together. It's always going to be a problem down the line. You might start off all right. This my man, my man, my man. But as soon as your man do something that you don't like because you didn't consider him or he didn't consider you, now y'all ain't together no more. So I make decisions and I think, if I had a partner here, what would he think? Or because I don't have a partner, I use my son or my son-in-law. I'll be like, hey, as dudes, what do y'all think about this? Because I need a male perspective. If they can't help me, I'll call my brother. Hey, bro, listen, I need a male perspective. What would you do in this situation? If my brother can't help me, I call my friend D. Hey, D, look, I need a perspective right here. Can you help me? Because I'm not that other person. but I'm still trying to make that decision like that person already exists, right? We talking about, I just manifested the man I wanted. Well, child, I'm over here trying to, I don't believe in manifesting nothing. I believe that the Lord can allow it to happen. And so I trust him in that regard, but I'm still making room. I'm still inclusion. I'm still trying to consider a person that I don't even know yet, a person that I have never talked to, that I am aware. I don't know anything about them, but I'm considering them before it's just going to be me by myself. We all need to be ourselves, but never including anyone in my life or your life or our life will be detrimental to the space I'm praying to live in. I'm asking God to give me someone, but I never consider them. It's going to be detrimental when they get here, because the truth is, I've done it all without you. What do I need you for? And the way some of these people are set up these days with all these toys and things, y'all don't need nobody. You good. Honey, all rosy and everything. I said, Lord Jesus, what in the world is going on here? I need somebody. I don't know nothing about all that. I need somebody over here. Me. Proverbs 4:23 says, keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. You got to keep yourself in that space where you don't harden off your heart based on an old situation, that you're asking God in this new season to give you something. Because if you always thinking about what the ex did, I've used my stories about my ex-husband. I have no ill will towards that man at all, ever. But I use those stories because it's helpful to tell the story. But I'm not going to hold against my new person something that an old person did to me. Well, I'm just not going to never let nobody hurt me before. Loving already opens up the possibility of getting hurt. That's just what love is. You run the possibility of getting hurt some kind of way, but I'm still going to love anyway. For me, there's always been and always will be a we and us, even when there's just me. Even when it's me, I'm still going to consider my spouse. Even when it's just me, I'm still going to consider the future that I've been asking the Lord for. Even when it's just me, I'm still going to consider putting my life together with somebody and considering that person before they get here. I'm making room for the answer to the prayer so that there is a smooth transition in the two becoming one. The other day, I had a hard day. I don't remember what all had happened, but I had a moment in my brain where I was feeling I just was foggy. I wasn't clear. I was blaming myself for something that happened. And it was just like, dang, what's going on? I just didn't make a right decision. I just did not make a right decision. It wasn't it wasn't a wrong decision. It just felt wrong to me. And I was like, Lord, oh my God, you're going to have to help me. And the Lord spoke this to me. Now I'm going to read this again. I'm making room for the answer to the prayer so that there's a smooth transition in the two becoming one. I've been praying and asking the Lord to send me a husband. And I felt like I had just messed up a situation, just messed up a decision I was trying to make. I just didn't feel like I had made I didn't feel like I gave it my effort or whatever it was. And the Lord said to me, I was at the gym working out. The Lord said to me, do not let the enemy steal the prayer or the promise. And I was like, don't let the enemy steal the prayer or the promise. I prayed and asked God for a thing. I did. And have been continuing to pray and believing. And God answered the prayer by giving me a promise. You will be in your ministry. Your husband will be in his ministry. When the two ministries meet, it'll be M squared multiplied ministry. That's what God said. He didn't say my husband will be a pastor. He didn't say he just said, you'll be in your ministry. He'll be in his ministry when the two meet. That's all God told me. And I'm like, okay. And the enemy was coming in and trying to make me again think very singularly, trying to make me not consider what I prayed for. And the Lord in his graciousness stepped in and he said, Shakima, don't you let the enemy steal the prayer that's already been prayed a long time or the promise, because I already answered the prayer. Even though it's not fully manifested in your life yet, I've already answered that prayer. And I said, Lord, I thank you for giving me my right mind, because I was going about it all wrong. I was thinking that I had messed up and I didn't. and I don't have anybody to ask, did I mess up? And this is when the Lord steps in to let me know, Shakima, you're never alone. Even though you seem to be by yourself, you're never alone. So I can't even say that I came to my right mind. I can say we came to our right mind because the Lord helped me. He's in the helping business, and I'm thankful for that. As I do every night before I leave, I feel like some people won't get this, but I hope you get it. As I do every night before I leave, I want to ask you, do you know him? Do you know the Lord? Do you know the Lord in partnership? Do you know the Lord in friendship? Do you know the Lord as the two of y'all becoming one? Because if you don't, you can. And we practice knowing the Lord so that when our husband comes or our wife comes, whichever one you're praying for, then we already know what that feels like to be with somebody. I already know what it feels like to be with this person because I've been practicing with the Lord. It's never been me by myself. It's always been us together. It's always been him carrying me when I couldn't carry myself. It's always been us walking hand in hand. It's always been me grabbing onto his arm. It's always been us. And so if you don't know the Lord, you can know him. And every time people ask you, how did you do it? You can say we and talk about the Lord. Or you can say us while you're including the Lord. And it makes that single season not seem so hard. It really does make that single season not seem so hard. When you can acknowledge the fact that God is going to send someone, he's going to answer that prayer that you prayed, it does take the sting out of the single season. I hear people all the time talk about being single is not a disease. Then I wish married people would stop making us feel like we are lepers, because some people make you feel just like you do have a disease because you are single. Some of us, not me, but some people do have the gift of singleness. It's not my portion. I am single, but I do not have the gift of singleness. That was Paul and some others. That's not my portion. God has put marriage in my heart and it remains. And until he answers that prayer, I'm going to keep trusting and believing and depending on him for everything he said about me. Because he's not a man that he should lie. He's never lied to me once. I always thank the Holy Spirit for giving me a revelation. He says you can know him as a we and an us. Knowing him takes us from single to we and us. And I tell you that it changed my life. I'm praying for you. Here's the thing. When I changed my thinking and I stopped thinking about me and I started thinking about we, I've never been the same. And I'll never be the same. And I'm already ready for the next portion of my life. I'm already ready for what God has for me. I'm already ready to include somebody in my space. But that's been years and years and years of not considering myself, but considering us together. Again, does that mean we're not going to have transitional things that happen where we're trying to figure out how to learn to live together when God sends them? Of course not. That's just human nature. That's why I think you start with a clean slate. I think you just sell it all and you buy something separate. Then nobody has claim over anything. This isn't my stuff in my space, this is our house. These are our things. And so you just, you hear the Lord, you do what God asks you to do, and that's what we do. So anywho, if you don't know the Lord, you can know him. And he can be the second part, or actually the third, fourth, and fifth part of the we us, if you want him to be. Like the video, share, subscribe, do all those things, follow whatever platform you're on. Join me tomorrow night. See, tomorrow is Thursday. Yes. Join me No. We have soccer tomorrow. Join me Friday night, because I'll be back Friday night for day 39, Not a Drinker, Friday Night Lights. Join me back Friday night for Not a Drinker, Friday Night Lights, day 39. I'll see you guys then. Thank you so much for stopping by. Love you guys. Bye now. Bye, everybody. Thank y'all for stopping.